Hi, my name's Jonathan Hicks, and this evening I'm joined by
Dave.
Steve. And they've just finished playing Le Havre, the inland port. This is the two-player version of Le Havre. I have played this quite a lot, so I'm going to be giving my opinion as well, but Steve is going to explain how to play.
Despite Jonathan having played it a lot and me only playing it once just now, I'm apparently explaining it. So, bear with me. So in Le Havre, you are effectively collecting goods, shipping them, using buildings to acquire more goods or exchange those goods into money. And at the end of the game, the person with the most money wins. Buildings are worth points. Money's worth points, and that's about it. On your turn, you've got this nifty little wheel, and it basically at the top of the wheel tells you whose turn it is. So basically, when in phase G of the game, it starts in phase A on Dave's board, but in phase A of the game, the cog or the ship's wheel indicates that Dave's going to get the first action, and there are going to be 3 actions. So Dave has a go, I have a go, then Dave has a go, and then what will happen is the wheels on both our boards will turn around, and on my board it says I've got the cog, but we're in phase B still. So we've got 3 actions where I get the first one, Dave gets the second one, and I get the third. And it's really easy. What you can do on your turn is you can do one of 2 things. Each turn, there are going to be some buildings that get added to the pool of buildings we can effectively build or buy. So the first thing you can do is buy a building. The buildings have a cost at the top, so this building's worth, costs 1 coin. This one costs 2 wood, 3 coins, 1 wood, and a mixture of food. The goods you've got, it's a really nifty mechanism actually. The goods you've got are here. These indicate how much of each type of good you've got. So this particular one, I actually have 7 wood. I'm on row 6 plus column 1, so I have effectively 7 wood. If I acquire more wood, I might acquire 1 wood. I now have 8 wood, or I might acquire 3 wood. I now have 10 wood. And so if I wanted to build one of these buildings, let's say I wanted to build this one here, I pay. When you pay, you can only pay like this. Okay? I can only pay in 1s, 3s and 4s. That's fine, that only costs 1, I could pay 1. If I was here at the start of my go and I wanted to pay 1 wood, I can't go any further that way. So I have to effectively overpay, and by going down a row, I can pay 3. When you get a building, you add it, and you put it in the 0 spot on your wheel. I'll put it here. So every building you get puts in, effectively this is a little round timer. Every time a building gets put here or here, it tells us how many actions we've had. So at the start when you're getting 3, it shouldn't be too hard to remember, but at the end when you're getting like 9 actions around, it can be hard to remember. So you can just look at this pile and how many buildings there is effectively how many turns you've taken so far. The second thing you can do on your turn, so let's say I bought that and it's Dave's go. Dave he might not want to buy a building, even though he's got the resources to do it. He might want to use one of the buildings. And when he uses a building, it's a bit weird. He can use either mine or his building. If he uses his own building, let's say he wants to use this building, he pops it there and he uses whatever that building does at value 3. So the longer he doesn't use a building, the better that building becomes. Now it's value 4 and he gets a coin for doing so. However, he can also use my buildings, and you see some of my buildings are very powerful. I've got 4s and 3s and so on all over the place, but to do that he just pays me a coin. Now a coin is a VP, so he's paying me a VP to use it, but he might use this building. He might use the bakehouse. The bakehouse allows you to move your grain that direction that many times. So for example, if I was to use this building, I can move my grain 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4 in that direction. And once it's used, it becomes less powerful. At the moment I can't use it again until the round moves on, but now it's value 2. So if I use it again, I can move it 2 more, although I can only actually fit it 1 more on my grid. So these buildings are effectively how you manipulate the goods you've got to allow you to acquire more buildings. There are some of the buildings, for example, if I can find one, like the weekly market. When you use the weekly market, you can move either of your food types, your grain or your fish, down a level in exchange for 4 points. So if I was to use this here, I could use this at a value 3. I could go 1, 2, 3 in exchange for 4, 8, 12 money. Again, money's VPs. Some buildings are just worth endgame points. For example, this building here costs you 7 to buy it, and it gets you 10 points per any building with an anchor on. So some of the buildings at the end of the game come with anchors. So this point, it just costs money to buy it, and it gives you points at the end of the game. Some buildings, like the port, which Dave managed to get, costs you 30 coins to buy, but it's worth 50 at the end of the game. So effectively you can buy this, you just gain yourself 20 points. He did very well, he accumulated a lot of coins and was able to buy that. I hadn't got a chance of buying it. You basically do that until the wheels have gone round twice, A through F on one board and G through L on the other board, taking an action after each other, using each other's buildings, trying to accrue the most points that way.
All right, Dave, what do you think?
I really like this game. I like how it works very similar to other Uwe games. I've not played, but in a short time span, I've not actually played Le Havre. But I really like the wheel and how you have to evaluate, do I want to use my opponent's ability before he can, and you've got to use, am I going to go first next turn, do I wait to use that, and there's like a kind of push your luck or kind of a standoff between you and your opponent. If I leave that for a round, will he use it, or will I be able to get more value out of it? And yeah, it's really good, and it's quite easy to understand. So you can play it and it's short, so you can play it with almost anyone. You might thrash them if you're good at it, but like at least they feel like they're doing something, and I think like they'd still enjoy it. Depends how competitive they were, but yeah, great game.
All right, Steve?
This is greatly implemented. I've played Le Havre. I like Le Havre. I think a lot of people I play with don't seem to like it as much as me. But this implements it really well. You really do feel like these games are really connected. So if you like Le Havre, this has got a lot of similarities. I love the wheel. I think the wheel's absolutely brilliant because it effectively, every time the wheel moves around, every action gets a certain percentage better. And so on your next turn, you're like, right, that action's really good. I can really do that. He's not got the resources to buy the tile I want to buy, so I'm going to wait to buy that until later. I really need to move this. I really need to take that before he does. I don't mind him taking this action. And you've got all those dilemmas when effectively you've only got two things you can do: buy a building or use a building. Each round, more buildings come out, and people have bought more buildings. So the first round, no one's got any buildings. You pretty much buy a building on your first go. Every round thereafter, you're like, I can use that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. Next round, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. And it's really good. I suppose if you are, and even if you aren't kind of that person who gets kind of overwhelmed with the options, certain options are clearly better than others. The longer a building's been sitting there, the better that building is. Effectively, it becomes more and more powerful as it goes on, and you might just use it just because maybe it's not what you want to do, but it's just so good you can't let your opponent have it. I really like the decisions in this game. I think they're really good, and it's really implemented in a two-player one.
Rating out of 10?
It's the first game I've played. I'd probably like to another go here to see if it feels different, but I'm going to rate it 8 out of 10.
Okay. Dave?
I think it's a 9 out of 10.
Wow, okay.
Really good.
Okay. I'm going to give a slightly different perspective on this one because I'm not as keen as these guys. It is a very solid game though, so my dislike of certain aspects is, I think, just personal opinion. I've played Le Havre as well. I'm not as keen on Le Havre. I do really like Uwe Rosenberg in general though, so I was surprised. And I think Steve's kind of hit the nail on the head with part of it. It's the choices that do overwhelm me personally. There are so many different buildings, both in Le Havre and in this one, that you can take on your turn, that I'm a bit like, I don't know what to do. And the thing I find frustrating in this one is you kind of buy what you think is a great building and you set it up ready to be used, and then your opponent uses it. Like, oh, I needed to use that. You kind of form this great plan and then you don't get to use it. But actually that does provide lots of tension and that kind of, oh, is he going to use it? Should I use it first? I can see how people would really like this. It is a very good game, but for me, I found it a little bit too frustrating. Just the last thing I would say is that the mechanism with the resources board here is really clever and gives you lots to think about in terms of when you need to spend them or how you need to gain them. It's a bit abstract and rather strange. I don't understand thematically how it fits it in. But it's very well done. I do like that. All right, thanks for watching. That was rating, of course. My rating would be 6 out of 10, I think. All right, thanks. That was Le Havre, the Inland Port.